an unarmed man was subjected to a chokehold, and the result is he is no longer with us.
That, of course, Al Sharpton, and one of a growing number of voices demanding justice following the death of 43-year-old Eric Garner. Now, tomorrow, Sharpton's scheduled to meet with the U.S. Attorney's Office about the incident. We'll be covering that, of course. Garner, though, laid to rest last night after he died in police custody after he was accused of selling loose cigarettes. By now, you have likely seen the infamous cell phone video of what happened. You see it there, in fact. It shows Officer Daniel Pantaleo in the background putting what appears to be a chokehold, a tactic banned by the NYPD. In fact, it was a chokehold called by both the mayor as well as the police commissioner. Now, on the video, you can hear Garner, who suffered from asthma, saying he couldn't breathe. In fact, he said it on multiple occasions. Officer Pantaleo, he has been stripped of both gun and badge and put on desk duty in the meantime. And also in the subsequent video, when the first responders came on scene, 4 EMS workers have also been suspended without pay. As you can see there, no one attempted to deliver mouth-to-mouth. No one brought either a ventilator or oxygen, which they should have been equipped with, and they too have been suspended. So tonight, with that as a backdrop and the conversation about whether or not this was an isolated incident or not, a new video has surfaced. This, a second chokehold incident, again involving the NYPD, and this one happened 3 days before Mr. Garner's death. Now, the video posted to YouTube shows officers arresting 22-year-old Ronald Johns at the Lexington Avenue and 125th Street subway station in East Harlem. You can see the officer on the right with his arm around Johns' neck. The NYPD says that he went through a gate without paying subway fare and refused to show ID when asked. The department conducting an internal investigation. The officer has reportedly been placed on medical leave as of Wednesday. And just to put in context with some of the math, the study from the Civilian Campaign Review Board found that more than 1,000 city residents have reported chokeholds by police in the last 5 years. The study also says that fewer than half of those cases were investigated by the NYPD. Now, put a human face on this for a second. Dominic Carter, who's been covering the story for us, he spoke exclusively today with the mother and the daughter of Eric Garner in Brooklyn. Dominic?
Richard, the family of Eric Garner made the trip today to the cemetery. And late this afternoon, many family members spoke to us away from the glare of cameras in Brooklyn. We start tonight with Garner's oldest daughter, Erica Snipes, who has strong words for the NYPD.
When I first watched the video of what they did to my father, I looked at the screen and I felt like I was screaming out why they didn't help him. He can't breathe. I kept on saying, get off of him, get off of him. My father fought to his last breath, even with 6 people on top of him. He's a very strong man, but how can he get through that? Like, how can he get them people off of him if somebody is around his neck? The way he was holding him, it was like no letting go. I watched that video over and over again. And it hurt me every time I watched it, but I wanted to know what exactly happened to my father. What exactly did each person had to do with my father's death?
Right now, it looks like your face is literally shaking.
Yeah, I'm shaken up by it. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. I haven't faced reality yet. Like, my father was everything, and he called me his clone. Like, I thought like him. Everybody said, you know, everything that you're doing right now is your father. So, everything, it just hurts. My daughter is almost 5 years old, and she has to go have another birthday without her grandfather. She always, every time I asked her what she wanted for her birthday, she didn't want nothing else but her grandfather to bring that cake. She wanted a princess cake. Nothing else. A little girl, No dolls, no toys. She wanted her grandfather to bring that cake.
Are you upset at the police?
Yes, I am. Every time I see a cop outside, to tell you the truth, I want to scream out murder, murderer.
Now, Garner's mother, Gwen Carr, works for the New York City Transit Authority as a conductor and was actually on a train when she got off in Coney Island for the emergency call that came in. She told us her husband protected her that night from seeing her own son. So for you, ma'am, when did you realize this was real?
I still don't realize it's real. It still doesn't seem real to me. We put him in the ground today, but I guess I'll still be looking for his phone calls.
Are you angry?
I'm angry. I'm disappointed at the system. I just hope that justice will prevail.
How do you define justice, ma'am?
Justice, to me, if you do the right thing about anyone that has misused their power, and especially in this case against my son, and the whole world could see he was not trying to attack the police. He wasn't running from the police. He did nothing to provoke this. I mean, they're saying, I mean, they were came around him for untaxed cigarettes. Store owners sell untaxed cigarettes all the time, and when they're caught, they take away their license, they give them a fine, but they don't take their life. And why did they take my son's life? That was so senseless, so uncalled for.
Ma'am, do you feel race played a role in this?
Race along with other things. My son did have, an ongoing thing with the police because he reported them for harassing him before.
And so, Richard, that's the next leg of the story, if you will, because according to the family members, he had a history, that is Mr. Garner, with these police officers having actually filed a complaint. What was a bit ironic, Richard, we spent about an hour with the family members today. No cameras, no media. They didn't even know, the other media, that we were there. And several times they kept pulling out cell phones in which it had the last time that Eric Garner had called them. And so, we got an opportunity to spend some time with the family today.
Let's talk about what happens next, Dominic. Tomorrow, Sharpton and the attorney for the Garner family, they're going to be meeting with Justice Department officials, right?
Tomorrow morning, great question. Tomorrow morning at 10:30, Mr. Sharpton, Reverend Sharpton, and the mother, who you just heard from, and some other family members will be going to meet with prosecutors in the office of U.S. Attorney Loretta White. She is a African-American U.S. attorney. She's been there for a while, as you know. She's done a lot of high-profile political prosecutions. Yeah. They are already laying the groundwork in the event that the officers involved are cleared on a state or city level. Now, you asked what's going on tomorrow. We do have a lot, Richard. We're going to bring you another interview with a family member, the father of Eric Garner, and this is shocking. Since his son was killed in this incident, we don't know what caused that. The medical examiner, it's inconclusive. He has received 3 tickets from other NYPD officers. And according to him, the officers just walk up and give him a ticket for he's in his car or for a number, since this incident has happened. And so this man is trying his best to compose himself and keep it together. And it's been very interesting. And also Pat Lynch.
Right, we're going to get the police perspective tomorrow,
That's right. We're going to talk to Pat. We have a lot going on tomorrow. We're going to get, Pat Lynch is not known to back down from anyone. He's strongly backing these officers.
And he's the head of the PBA.
PBA, thank you very much. And it'll be very interesting and very nice to get the perspective of the police officers.
Right, because he said right there that did Pat Lynch that he thought both the mayor and the police commissioner jumped the gun when they said that it was a chokehold, and he thinks that there was more than just what met the eye with the video. But we'll get his perspective and obviously the families as well. Great job, Dominic. Thank you. Coming up next, everyone, on RFL, we're going to check back on some politics, including some of the top races this election season around our neck of the woods here. What races here could be really close and really could help shape the face of Congress come November? We'll be right back in RFL. Stay with us.